welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Oh, my voice. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia and I upload book content such as reading wrap-ups and reading vlogs, all things book related. I'm here for it because we love reading. Before we get into this video, if you do enjoy that kind of content, then please give this video a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and please follow my social medias that are linked in the description, and let's just create a little family, let's have friends. Hi, this is going to be, first of all, let's just say this is going to be a very random, spontaneous video. It's going to go up midweek. I very, very rarely upload midweek. I upload Saturdays at 6 PM. However, I could wait, like, I've got all my videos planned until the end of March. So if I did this video in, if I waited, this video come up in April, and I just don't. For this video, I got this idea. I'm sure other YouTubers have done it, but I got this idea from Ellen Catherine. I'll try and leave her video down below and tag her in it. But I got the idea from her to do tier ranking my 5-star reads. I was like, that's a really good idea, so why not do it? I actually thought I had a lot more 5-star reads than I did, but I still have quite a good several. I got 24, and we're gonna go through them and tier rank them, and you're gonna see if I would still rate it at 5 stars, or if I rate it higher, or if it's probably past its time. So let's just get on with this video. Okay, so we kind of moved. We are here. I've just had to be like practicing how to use. I've never done the screen recording before on this, or I have practiced it, but like I'm not actually prepared for the video in that way. And then I had to recreate the tier ranking list because my thing decided to stop working. So we are gonna start the screen recording. Okay, so we are now screen recording the screen. So I'm gonna be looking this way. So if you don't see me looking your way, sorry. But we've got our 5 ratings. I decided not to copy exactly Ellen's one because I thought, let's make it my own thoughts. But I did get like the idea from her, so they're kind of like similar, if you kind of get what I mean. So we've got at the top, the high one is like, OMG, I cannot stop thinking about this book. Like literally, like I go to bed and all I think about it is like, oh my god, I want to reread that book. Should be a 6-star, kind of similar, but like maybe it's something I do think is 6-star worthy, but just not something I can always think about. Deserves the 5 stars. Probably if I reread it now would be now a 4-star, and not really worth the high rating now. Which means basically if I was to reread it, I probably would be like, eh. I feel like there's a few on here. I think most of them, actually that's a lie, but there's a few on here from like 2022 that when I first started reading, I was like, oh my god, these are amazing, and now I've read loads of other books, it's not as amazing to me, which is normal. As you grow and you read more books, the books you read first, probably not as hyped up. Sorry, my hair keeps doing so, it's really annoying. So let's start. We have my 24 books at the bottom here, as you can see. And let's go. So the first, and we're going to go in order what's on here, not in the order I've read them, because I'll get confused. So the first book out there is Queenie. This is the first, it was the second book I read in 2022 when I first started reading. I read it, and I remember reading it after Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This book, at the time, I loved, and I don't remember anything about it, so I think this would be going to probably 4 stars now. I did enjoy the book from what I remember. I think it was a really good book written by a person of colour, and the representing people of colour, and I think it was just very interesting to read, and I think it would still be a good high rating, just not 5 stars. Next one is Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I think this book definitely deserves the 5 stars. I did enjoy the book when I read it. I realised these are square images and that's already annoying me. So let's just move it to like that. I really enjoyed this book. I read it when I was trying to do 24 hours of reading, when I didn't read for 24 hours. Spoiler. This was back in Easter last year. But I fell in love with the book. Like, this is a book this is like a fairy tale reimagining, but it's like a fractured fairy tale of Lion King, and you're rooting for Scar, which, you know, very baffling. Why would you root for someone who killed their brother? But nevertheless, is that a word? I really enjoyed this book and I was hooked on it very, very fast, so I gave it 5 stars. Next one is Archer's Voice. Okay, this is going, I know where this is going, and if I can actually use my laptop, that would be really great. Where is this going in? OMG, I cannot stop thinking about this book, because I cannot stop thinking about this book for the slightest of me. Like, this book is everything to me. Like, oh, I love it so much. I'm going to plan to reread this at some point, and I know it's going to give me those feelings. Like, I haven't stopped thinking about this book in, like, I read it probably August, I'll say August 2022, so about a year and a half ago, and I have not stopped thinking about it. So 100% would definitely love this book so much. The next one is, look at the picture, is Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is a recent 5-star read. I think it's going to go in, should be a 6-star though. I was hooked on it at the moment. Oh my god. What's going on? Well, sorry, I can't use my laptop apparently. Should be a 6-star read. I loved the book. Loved it. It was so good. This was Winter and Theo's story, and I can't tell you how much I loved Winter and Theo's story. I read it within a space of 2 days. Like, that was quick. Miss Elsie Silver did it so well with that book, and I loved it. And I really do love, like, how they got together and how they worked out, and oh, it's amazing. Next one is the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. I started reading this for 24 Hours of Reading last year, and immediately got hooked, and I then decided to buy the physical copy, so at some point this year I can reread it and annotate it. But I tell you, I love the whole story, like the dark romance. That book is a dark romance, and I loved it, and I honestly wish I could go back and reread it for the first time again, because I was obsessed. So cannot stop thinking about it. It's going on the top one. It's the one I cannot stop thinking about, and everything about. I love it. Next one, A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is the 3rd book in the Akatar series. I can't really talk too much about it without spoiling the series, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to say it deserves 5 stars. I wouldn't rate it any higher, because we've got another one on here that I would rate higher, and I just think this one fits in the 5-star category, does not fit above, but I really enjoyed it. So then we have Daisy Jones and the Six. I've read this book twice, and both times gave it a 5 stars. I loved the book, love the series, the TV series. Just love the story of Daisy Jones and the Six. And I love the way it's written in interview style. I just think it's so different. You wouldn't see this in many books, so I felt like it was just amazingly written and done so smartly and creatively. So I'm not putting it there, I'm moving it up to OMG. I cannot stop thinking about this, because I cannot stop thinking about this book. I think daily, I think about it, like, all the time. Like, I want to reread it for the 3rd time, but I feel like it's a bit excessive. I reread it specifically last year to annotate it. Now I feel like it's a bit excessive if I tried to reread it again. Then we have Carrie Hope Fletcher with This Kiss. I loved it when I read it, but I really think if I was to reread it now, I just would be like, I don't know if it's not really worth the high rating. I don't know if it's probably a 4-star. I don't remember much. I remember the fact that she can see how someone dies from her kiss, which is why she prevents the kissing people, and I found it very interesting, because she started falling for someone and then couldn't kiss them, and it's, I don't know. I think I'm going to put it in not really worth the high rating. I probably would give it like a 3.5 star if I was to reread it now. So that's why I'm going in there, because I said probably 4 stars. I can't really put it in that one if it's not a 4. So, sorry. I do love Carrie Hope Fletcher, and I think she's got a very good talent of writing, as well as a very talented West End performer. I love her performing. I love her. I do love Carrie Hope Fletcher. Like, I will hype up about Carrie as long as I possibly can. Okay, next we have The Final Offer by Lauren Asher, the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. Oh, I love this book so much. I felt so connected to it, partly because growing up I went through something similar in some ways. I think I spoke about it in a reading vlog, can't remember. But I'm putting this one in. Should be a 6-star. It does deserve a 6-star rating. I loved Final Offer. Hands down the best book out of the three, but like I loved all three of the books. So, and another one of the books is coming up in this video. So throat is very dry. Try my hardest not to keep this headache that is sitting there. Next we have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This whole series, by the way, I know it's going to be like a 6 stars or OMG, I can't stop thinking about this series because I love it. I think it's so interesting, so toxic, but so good. I loved everything about it. So I'm going to put Magnolia Parks in OMG, I cannot stop thinking about this book because I cannot stop thinking. Like, I loved Long Way Home. Didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4.75. I loved Daisy Hates, but like not as much. I gave it like a 4-star. And like another one is coming up. I think you can guess. If you've watched my recent vlogs, you will know. However, this book I cannot stop. I still think about everything that happened in that first book daily. Like, I love it, and it's just. I know it's a toxic relationship, a toxic book, and the characters are all toxic and they can't communicate, and I hate that about people in real life that don't know how to communicate with people. Like, I could sit here and rant about how many people like don't know how to communicate their feelings and like how and communicate with someone that you care about, whether it be a friend, a family member, or a boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or whatever. Like, I could rant about it so much. I just know, but I love it in the book. The book, reading it was great. Just saying. Okay, let's move on. The Happy Ever After playlist. This is a very, very recent 5-star read for me, and it's one of my favourite books I've read. So I'm going to put this, and you know what, when I was doing my book journal, it was very hard to choose between this one and another one that's coming up, which is my favourite book I read in February. But yeah, I am putting the Happy Ever After playlist in should be a 6-star because it's not, I can't stop thinking, it is like I can't stop thinking about it at the moment, but I read it like in February. Just after Valentine's Day I finished it, so it's like it literally was like less than a month ago when I read it, so I feel like it's still kind of very prompt in my mind, especially since it's one of the last 5-star reads I gave. But I feel like if I was to really do this in like 6 or 7 months time, it might be something I'll be like, I remember that book, but it's not something I think about every day, and like, I don't think about that book every day, so I can't say yeah. Next we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I loved this book. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I know not everyone would give it a high rating, but I loved it. I found it I connected very, very quickly, very, very easy, and I just loved the story. I loved Hannah and Garrett, so I'm probably going to put this in. Deserves a 5-star. I wouldn't put it any higher. Deserves a 5-star. Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Now, this book was the first one I read. It was actually my first dark romance book. I'm not including Twisted series in that because I love the Twisted series, but I just don't think that was... In my head, it probably is dark romance, but it just didn't give me dark romance as much as, like, Hooked and Scarred and Mindfuck series did. So, yeah. Hooked was my introduction to dark romance, and I will tell you, when I say, excuse the pun, but I was hooked on the book. Yes, I was. I read it again for 24 hours of reading. I actually read most of it when I was hungover. Like, thoroughly hungover, and usually when I'm thoroughly hungover I don't want to sit and read because I won't read as much. I will lie in bed and sleep. Nope, I read so much of that book. I just couldn't stop. So I'm putting this in deserves to be a 6-star. I loved it. We are getting close to the end. It's not too close, but close. You can see. The next one is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I loved this book. I loved Declan and Iris. And I just loved... It was my first, like... marriage of convenience book, and I absolutely loved the story, so I'm going to put this in. Should be a 6-star as well. It was actually like another one of my favourites. I love Lauren Asher's writing, if you couldn't tell. I love it. I really enjoyed Throttled. I haven't read the rest of the Dirty Air series, so I'm not up to date with all her writing, but I love her writing. So next we have Fourth Wing. This book, I understand why this took the world by storm. I know not everyone loves Rebecca Yarros at this current moment, but I still love this series, and I think it'll be one of those series that I know will stay with me, and I can't wait to do a reread this year. I've got the paperback coming of Wolf Wing this month, and I'm going to plan to do a reread at some point this year of that and Iron Flame, and I cannot wait. So I'm going to put Fourth Wing at OMG, cannot stop thinking about this book, because I cannot stop thinking about it. Like, Xaden and Violet, everything. It's just everything. Now we're moving on to, like, one of, like, when I first thought I'd get back into reading, I actually read this for a video. I think it was, like, my Instagram followers choose my next read video back in 2022. My first ever one of those videos. And I loved it at the time. Like, Ugly Love by Colin Hoover. Don't get me wrong, I would love to reread it. I actually tried to listen to it as an audiobook last year. On the way home from Portsmouth, and when I got home I just didn't do it anymore. I wouldn't say. I think I've very much gone off Colin Hoover, and not because of the reasons everyone else has gone off her and not liked her. I just don't really love her vibe with her writing anymore. Like, I did love her writing. Like, I was a co-host stand for a big period of time, as a lot of booktubers and bookstagrammers and booktalkers and book people were. I'm now just not. I just don't see myself loving it anymore. And I really love the story of Tate and Miles. I just don't think it would, if I was to reread it, it wouldn't give me that same feeling. Like, I reread, was it one of her books or two of her books? One of her books, and like, it was a book I gave 5 stars. Was it? Reminders of Him, yeah, I did. And I lowered the rating, and I never thought I would for that book, because it's my favourite book. But I'm going to put Ugly Love should be a 4 stars now. I just don't see it being, I can't say it's not really worth a high rating, because I do still think about it to this day, and I do still love it, but I just don't think it would be 5 stars anymore. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Akatar series, and as everyone in this who has read the series, I loved this book. Like, this book, My Roman Empire, just this specific book. I don't even know what I mean by the Roman Empire, so please don't judge that. I'm gonna put this, it should be a 6 star. It's not that I can't, it's not something I think about daily. I do love it though. I just don't think about that. I do think it should be a 6 star. It's worthy of a 6 star. So worthy. Then we have It Ends With Us by Colin Hoover. I, again, loved this book when I read it. It was the first Colin Hoover book I read. It was also probably the 4th, 5th book I read I think, I can remember the order of when I started reading. I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Queenie, Normal People, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, It Ends With Us. And, or the other way around. It was one of the two. I think it was It Ends With Us after Seven Husbands. Why is that not on? Oh, I lowered the rating, that's why. I was thinking that's not on here, but I was like, I reread it and lowered the rating. I think I'm putting It Ends With Us to probably a 4 stars as well. I was gonna put not really worth the high rating, but I think if I was to reread it, I'd give it 4 stars, but nothing more. So I'm definitely putting it with probably a 4 star now. I do want to reread it. I feel like before the film comes out, I just want to give it a reread, and annotate it, because at that point when I read it, I was not annotating books, or tabbing books. So I do want to go back in and do that. I'm sorry if I put it in my hair and it annoys you. I'm very sorry. It's annoying me right now. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I remember I devoured that book in less than in a day when I was doing 24 hours of reading, and I loved it at the time. But again, I read it in a day for a video, for 24 hours of reading. I was hooked on it at that point. I think I was to reread it. I don't think I would give it over 5 stars, but I would still give it a high rating. You know what, actually, I'm going to put this, it deserves to be 5 stars, because I remember the story so well, that I do remember it so well, and I haven't even fully watched the film yet, but I remember the story, yeah, and I just loved it, so I think it does deserve the 5 stars. The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This is the second book in the off-campus series. I don't remember much what happened in that book, I will be honest with you. I liked it. I think it was Grace and... Was it Grace and Logan, or was that... I think it was Grace and Logan. I can't remember the characters in that book. Oh my god. Oh my god. Clearly, I think you can tell where I'm going to be putting this. I'm going to put it to probably a 4 stars now because I don't remember the book. I remember enjoying it, and that's as much as I got from it. I can't remember why I read it. I don't know if I read it for a video or if I just read it for fun. I just don't remember. I don't remember this book much. Sorry. So it's probably a 4 stars now. Better than the movies. Was like one of the first. It was the first book in 2023. I gave 5 stars. I remember that. However, would I still give it a 5 stars? I really enjoyed the book. I did love it. I actually think it probably deserves to be 5 stars because I remember everything about the book, and I do remember because I loved the Duff and it gave me the Duff vibe so much. I think it deserves 5 stars because I loved it. I did enjoy it, and think about it, it actually makes me smile. Which, if a book makes me smile still, and it's a year later, and I'm just talking about it and I'm not even reading it, then I think we can safely say it deserves the 5 stars. Heartless by Elsie Silver. Oh my god, this book. Yeah, I think you can tell where I'm about to say where this is going to go, but it's just going to go in, OMG, I cannot stop thinking about this book because I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I loved it, and I still think about Willa and Cade, and when I read other books and they popped up, I got so excited just to have a glimpse of them. Just the smallest glimpse of Willa and Cade I lived for. I loved them so much. And Luke, Cade's son, so cute. Anyway, I just hurt my throat doing that. Yeah, I cannot stop thinking about this book. I nearly started crying about that book. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay, now we've got 2 more books left. They are both 2 very recent reads. We're going to start with Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. I didn't think I would enjoy this book as much as I did enjoy it, because I would say Daisy hates the first book. I wouldn't say I loved. I didn't hate it. It was a 4 star, I think it was. I can't remember what I rated it. It was good. I just read it at the wrong time. I think that's what it was. This book that I picked up and I was like obsessed. I needed it. I fell in love with Daisy Christian. I was already in love with Julian, so we didn't need to worry about that. But Daisy and Christian I fell in love with from Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, and I honestly, props, love it so much. I'm giving this, should be a 6 star, because it doesn't match up with Magnolia Parks with being IYG. I can't stop thinking about it, but I do love it so much. And then finally we have my ultimate favourite read this year, and I will still say it, like, it's top read I've read so far in 2024, and it is Love Redesigned by Miss Lauren Asher. Can you tell I love Lauren Asher's writing? Yes, I do. And it's honestly gonna go in, OMG, I cannot stop thinking about this book because it was everything to me. I absolutely adored this book, and I honestly would do anything to read this book again. Probably next year, not right now, but I loved it so much. So that is my tier ranking of my 5-star reads. I do hope you enjoyed seeing what I would rate my 5 stars now and the ranking of them. And if you did enjoy it, then please comment down below if you want me to do more, maybe my 4-star reads. I will try and actually do this. If this video works out well, I will do this at the end of the year for my yearly one, unlike what I was meant to do last year and I didn't. And if you do enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and please follow my social medias that are linked in the description. Without further ado, that is the end of the video, and I'll see you again Saturday with another video.